It's a beautiful day and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day today. The cat post in the background that I can see on the screen here, as I'm sure you've been able to tell, it's definitely leaning. I tried to see if I could fix it too, but I can't fix it. They're genuinely breaking it. Chia and Nez always play around on top of that platform. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't fall off too soon. But yeah, it's a beautiful day for some Reddit stories and I hope you guys are excited. The first one that we're going to read is on Am I the A-hole? And I've got a feeling it's going to be pretty infuriating. Am I the A-hole for refusing to host Thanksgiving because my family keeps using my house as a free hotel? Thanksgiving is just around the corner and I feel like I'm at my breaking point. For the past 5 years I've hosted at my house and it's gone from being something I genuinely love to something I absolutely dread. The main issue isn't the cooking or cleaning, it's how my family treats my home like a free hotel. They don't just come for the meal, they show up days early and act like they're on vacation. My brother brings his kids who immediately take over the living room with toys and snacks and whatever mess they can make. My sister doesn't lift a finger, claiming that she's just here to relax. And my mum spends the entire time critiquing everything I do. She even made me iron the tablecloth last year, saying that it was embarrassing for the family to eat on wrinkles. Last year was the final straw. My brother's kids raided the fridge the morning after Thanksgiving, finishing off the leftover pie that I was saving to share with my in-laws that weekend. Nobody helped me to clean up after dinner. My husband and I spent 2 hours washing dishes while everybody else lounged in the living room, drinking wine. When I complained later, my sister rolled her eyes and said, "Well, you're the one who wanted to host." Yeah, this one is infuriating. This year I decided that I wasn't going to do it. Back in September I told everybody that I needed a break and I suggested that we rotate hosting duties or go out to a restaurant. My mum said that I was being selfish and that my house is the most comfortable. My sister flat out refused, saying that her apartment is too small, and my brother said that he's too busy to host because of his work schedule. Your mum called you selfish. The audacity. And since then they've been constantly pressuring me to change my mind. My mum even said, "You're ruining Thanksgiving for everybody," and my brother promised to help out more this year, though I've heard that before. Now with only a day to go, nobody has stepped up to host, and the family group chat is a passive-aggressive mess. My mum keeps on implying that Thanksgiving might not even happen at all if I don't agree to host, which makes me feel terrible. On one hand, I feel like it's unfair for them to expect me to carry the burden year after year, especially when they treat me and my home with so little respect. On the other hand, the idea of Thanksgiving falling apart because of me is making me second-guess myself. Part of me wonders if I should just suck it up and host to keep the peace. No. Definitely don't do that. But another part of me feels like I deserve a break too. Yeah, you do, OP. Am I the a-hole for standing my ground and refusing to host this year? No, not even a little bit. You are so not in the wrong, OP. Don't even worry. Make sure you do continue to stand your ground, OP. I'm so pissed off in particular at OP's mum, saying that OP is selfish, saying that they're ruining Thanksgiving because they don't want to do it, and then critiquing everything that OP does. Your mum sounds straight up nasty, OP, and to say that it was embarrassing for the family to eat on wrinkles. No, OP's mum. It's embarrassing that this is how you talk to your child. And also the sister isn't much better either, rolling their eyes at OP, and yeah, acting like they're on vacation. They have no respect for you or your home, OP. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole, they're just mad that their free ride's over. Thanksgiving's not falling apart because of you, it's falling apart because your family are selfish, ungrateful a-holes. Yeah, well said. And also, have you noticed how in these stories, a lot of the time when somebody calls somebody selfish, they are like the most selfish person ever? Like we see people throwing around the word selfish all the time, and they don't even know what it means. Like the audacity to say that you're the selfish one here, OP. Your family are genuinely selfish. But what, you're selfish because you want some respect? Nah. Yeah, this comment, hosting should be something that you want to do, not something that you're pressured into. You've generously opened your home for years, and your family has taken advantage of your kindness. Yeah, they sound awful, OP, and they have taken advantage of you. But somehow you're the one in the wrong? That's so ridiculous. This comment says, not the a-hole. When I complained later, my sister rolled her eyes and said, "Well, you're the one who wanted to host." Throw this back into her face for all of eternity. This one says, not the a-hole. Take your mum saying Thanksgiving might not happen at all as a blessing in disguise. Do not fold or you'll be stuck repeating it forever. And the one below that says, exactly, that's a blessing in disguise. Thanksgiving is falling apart because the family is selfish, not the a-hole. Yeah, oh no, I don't have to do something that I don't want to do anyway. And you can go and disrespect somebody else in their house. This comment says, not the a-hole. Don't host anything for 5 years. The one below that says 15 years. The mum, brother, and sister should host 5 times each first. Yeah, I can't believe they're making it out like you're the bad one. I feel so sorry for you, OP. Can you celebrate it with a different family? Because your family kinda sucks. Post number 2 is also on Am I the a-hole, and it looks pretty interesting. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my roommate's boyfriend live with us after he tested me? I, 19 female, live with my roommate, let's call her Ashley, 20 female, in a small small 2-bedroom apartment. We've been friends since high school and decided to split rent when we both started college. Things were fine at first, but then she started dating Jake, 22 male. At first, he was over just a couple of nights a week, which I didn't mind. But over the past few months, he's basically moved in, eating our food, using our stuff, and not contributing a single dime to rent or bills. I finally had enough, and I told Ashley that Jake either needed to start paying his share or stop practically living here. She apologized and said that she'd talk to him. I thought that was the end of it. Fast forward to last week, I was getting ready to head out to a late night study group when Jake cornered me in the kitchen. He told me that he wanted to test me to see if I'd be a good person to live with full time. Oh my god. I was confused and I asked him what he meant. He said that if I wanted him to pay rent, I had to prove that I was roommate material by showing him that I could handle sharing the space with somebody like him. Oh Jake, how dare you? Jake, you come into their home acting like they need to prove something to you. OP doesn't need to prove squat to you, dude. Oh, the audacity of that is infuriating. He then gave me a list of rules that he'd want me to follow if he officially moved in. Stuff like doing my share of the cooking, even though I already make my own meals. Not bringing any guys over. What's wrong with bringing guys over, Jake? Because they might become a leech? I'm single, but why is that even relevant? And being respectful to his gaming time by keeping the Wi-Fi free during his streams? Oh my god, the audacity. I can't even believe this. Who does Jake think he is? I laughed in his face and I told him there was no way that he was moving in. He got pissed and told Ashley that I was being unreasonable. She confronted me and said that Jake was just testing the waters and that I should have been more open to the idea. She accused me of being jealous because I'm single and suggested that I was trying to sabotage their relationship. Yeah, something tells me that OP's not jealous that you've got Jake. Now she's saying if I can't be supportive, then maybe she should get a new roommate. One who respects her relationship. OP, you haven't been disrespectful even once. I think this is completely insane, but Ashley and a couple of her friends are siding with Jake. They're calling me selfish and controlling. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let him move in after his ridiculous test? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe what we just read. This comment says, so he thinks he can come in as a third wheel and start making demands and stupid rules? It sounds like he's not roommate material. Tell Ashley that if he's paying 1/3, that doesn't mean that he gets priority. How dare he make demands when he's an equal partner in expenses? Especially for gaming, for crying out loud. Yeah, that's such a good point. Bro, you don't get to just waltz in here and start calling all the shots. Oh, the gall of this guy. I know I sound like a broken record, but the audacity. And OP responded and said, yeah, he gets really emotional when it comes to his gaming time. Yeah, like this comment says, no guys over? Is that because you know what kind of leeches they become, Jake? Yeah, Jake, you're the guy that shouldn't have come over. And this comment, he is a red flag. Yeah, Jake's a walking red flag. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Jake's behavior is a major red flag. His test shows controlling tendencies and lack of respect for boundaries. The apartment is yours and Ashley's. He has no right to set rules or test you. His demands about cooking and visitors and Wi-Fi usage are completely inappropriate. Your original request was reasonable. Either he pays rent or stops living there rent-free. Most leases have guest policies limiting overnight stays. Ashley is being manipulated here. Jake moved in without permission, uses resources without contributing, and now tries to establish dominance by setting rules in an apartment where he doesn't even pay rent. Stand firm on your boundaries, document everything, check your lease about guest policies, consider talking to your landlord if this continues, and remember, you signed a lease with Ashley, not Jake. His attempt to test you is just a power play to establish control over you and your shared living space. Yeah, I feel like this is one of those situations that is so unbelievably infuriating that you don't know if you should cry or if you should laugh at it, because it is also laughable. Like, bro, who do you think you are? You feel like you can do this? You feel like you can saunter into somebody else's house and start making demands? So you don't know whether to laugh at it or to cry at it, but at the same time, it is so unbelievably infuriating because of the audacity that you sort of just left confused because Jake is so unbelievably out of line, but he feels like he's in the right. I've been sitting here for a little bit thinking about this post because it took me by surprise how infuriating it is. Like I said, do I laugh? Do I cry? I don't even know how to respond to this, and I'm reading it on Reddit. If this happened to me in person, I don't even know how I'd be able to process this. Like, I'm sorry, what, dude? Excuse me? You come into our home and you're trying to boss us around, acting like I need to prove to you that I can live with you because you feel like you're moving in now. Like, Jake, buddy, what are you talking about? And I feel like one of the worst parts about it is that Jake feels like he's so in the right, to the point where him and Ashley and the friends are calling OP selfish and controlling. Like, that is mind-boggling. Okay, we need to move on. The next one is a Today I Messed Up post, and I'm hoping this one is going to be be funny and not aggravating. It's called Today I Messed Up by Being an Instant Coffee Enjoyer. And instant is in quotation marks. I am an incredibly oblivious person. Me too, OP. My own parents once switched up a rug that I love to lay on, and it took me half a year to notice. So anyway, as I've gotten older, I've started to drink coffee. As I've gotten broker, this went from $1.50 cans to a Starbucks instant coffee. And then finally, I start to question why I was sticking with the brand, which was so small that I couldn't even always find it in the store. I saw a large container of coffee. It looked cool enough, and I've gone through 2 batches of it over the past year. While I didn't drink coffee ritualistically, there was still an entire 365 days of not realizing anything was up. Around this time, I start hearing more people talk about getting Keurigs, which I thought was strange because you can use instant coffee and a kettle, but I just thought it was one of those new trendy things. So here's the routine that I stuck to. Add coffee and then add boiling water and maybe creamer. I mainly needed it to wake up, and over time the bitter flavor and hot water and crunchiness grew on me. Crunchiness, did you say, OP? Yeah, coffee should not be crunchy. I just thought the Starbucks coffee was extra nice, and that's why it was so smooth, and that this is what people meant when they brought up instant coffee. Oh no. I'd heard of coffee filters before, but those are for when you're fancily using whole beans or making Christmas snowflake decor. Eventually, just as I was starting to feel done with the game of waiting for the coffee grounds to sink and avoiding whatever side of the mug had some floaters, I came across a TikTok hack. It mentioned mixing creamer or cold water into the instant coffee so that it dissolves smoother. Dissolves. But I thought it was only then that I realized instant coffee was supposed to dissolve and that coffee should never come with some extra crunch. What I'd been drinking for the past year was coffee grounds, raw and unfiltered, warts and all. Anyway, over the last few days, my mornings have been way more pleasant. Oh, I'm sure they have. That's amazing, OP. Yeah, like this comment says, and crunchiness. I saw it coming, but that still made me laugh. I think I'd still actually prefer this than instant coffee. This comment says cowboy coffee enjoyer. Yeah, that's so funny, OP. And I'm so happy that you said that you're oblivious. I've always known that I've been pretty oblivious, but this is on a different level. There are lots of comments talking about like French press coffee and how OP probably was still drinking pretty good coffee. But yeah, it's so funny that you were like, oh, wait a second, it's not meant to have crunchy bits of coffee in it. Yeah, like this comment says, I'm dying to know what else you've been doing wrong your whole life. Can you please describe how you operate a motor vehicle or interact with stairs? That's so funny, OP. That's always kind of been a fear of mine, that I've been doing something wrong my entire life. Like, oh no, this is not how you meant to do it. And like never realizing it. I feel like stuff like this would be surprisingly common, and that's kind of wholesome in a way. Okay, for the next one, we're moving back to Am I the A-hole? It's called Am I the A-hole for leaving my husband after he refused to have kids? I, 30 female, and husband, 32 male, have been together for 8 years and married for 5. When we first started dating, we discussed the big life goals, including kids. At the time, we both agreed that we wanted children someday, but we decided to wait until we were financially stable and ready emotionally too. Over the years, I've been excited, looking forward to that chapter of our life. I started preparing by reading parenting books and making healthier lifestyle choices, and we also even bought a home with an extra room for a future nursery. Recently, I brought up seriously starting to try for a baby. That's when he admitted that he'd changed his mind. He said that he no longer wants kids and has been feeling this way for the past couple of years, but was afraid to tell me. His reasons included the stress of raising children, financial concerns, and the loss of personal freedom. I was devastated. Having kids has always been a deep desire of mine, and I feel like he pulled the rug out from under me. I tried discussing compromises like therapy to explore his fears, or even considering adoption later, but he was firm with his decision. After a lot of soul searching, I told him that I couldn't stay in a marriage where I'd have to give up something so important to me. He was heartbroken and accused me of valuing hypothetical children over our real relationship. Oh, come on, dude. Now my friends and family are divided. Some think I'm justified because having kids is a non-negotiable for me. Others say that I'm being selfish and abandoning my husband after he was honest about his feelings. That's not true. Am I the a-hole for leaving my husband over this? This comment says, how was he heartbroken? He's been lying to you for years. He can get screwed. Yeah, making OP out like they're in the wrong here is so wild. Like, hey dude, if you said that you wanted to have kids one day, maybe like actually mean it when you say that. This comment says, not the a-hole. He should have been honest when his mind changed. He didn't tell you because he probably knew that it was a deal breaker. He is in the wrong and you're justified for moving on and trying to meet somebody who wants the same things as you. The comment below that says, I totally agree. He should have been upfront with you earlier. It's unfair to expect you to give up something so important to you. You're absolutely justified in moving on, OP, not the a-hole. Yeah, and why all of a sudden is he so firm that he doesn't want them when he literally said to OP that he wants to have kids with them one day? And OP even said, I tried discussing compromises like therapy to explore his fears or even considering adoption later, but he was firm in his decision of no. That is so whack. This entire time OP's been excited to have kids with this person, and then yeah, he does pull the rug out from under OP. Yeah, like this one says, definitely not the a-hole. It's one thing to change your mind about something big like having kids, but it's another to hide it from your partner for years. You deserve to have your desires and goals respected in a marriage. Plus, it is better to end things now before resentment and regret build up. It's a complete bait and switch. You were committed to him and committed to the relationship and committed to all of this. He seemingly was too, and then all of a sudden he's not. The bit at the end is so annoying too. Others say that I'm being selfish and abandoning my husband after he was honest about his feelings. Yeah, he's talking about his feelings now, but he hasn't been honest about how we felt for ages. And also to not even try either. He's like, no, I don't want them at all. Yeah, like this one says, he's heartbroken. I'd be heartbroken knowing that my husband basically lied to me for 2 years while watching me read parenting books. Not the a-hole. Yes, stringing you along, OP. And what, you're just meant to happily give up on all of your dreams of having kids? How is that fair? Of course it's not. Especially after you've already had the conversation that you do want them together. And then all of a sudden he's like, no, I don't. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. They've been together for 8 years and married for 5. And it says there, he said that he no longer wants kids and has been feeling this way for the past couple of years, but he was too afraid to tell me. And it says, over the years I've been excitedly looking forward to that chapter of our life, preparing by reading parenting books and making healthier lifestyle choices. So yeah, you literally are reading parenting books while he knows that he doesn't want to have kids, but he's too afraid to tell you. That is so sad, OP. And in no way are you being selfish about this. That's so unbelievable to be like, oh yeah, I've known for like 2 years that I didn't want to have kids, but I didn't say anything. You felt like this for 2 years and you haven't even told me. Like, what else are you too scared to tell me, dude? No, of course you feel the way that you feel, OP, and you're not the a-hole for how you feel. Okay, moving on to another Am I the a-hole post. Am I the a-hole for screaming shut up at my husband? And he was on the phone with his mother on speakerphone, so she 100% heard it, laughing my ass off. I'm pretty sure I am the a-hole, but let's dig into it. I'm currently enrolled in online college and I was working on a very elaborate and difficult assignment. I expressed to him many times that it was very stressful and I needed to put all of my attention and focus on my assignment, and to please not speak to me until I finish it or I'll lose focus. Despite this, he kept trying to talk to me. I responded with things like, I really need to focus on this right now. Please don't interrupt me. Very calmly. Finally, about an hour in, and I'm literally on the cusp of completing the assignment. I'm on final calculations and everything has led up to this. He comes for like the 30th time to say something, and he angrily says, when are you gonna come eat? Me, I'm almost done. Please don't interrupt my train of thought. Him, your food's getting cold. Me, I'm almost done. Please don't interrupt my train of thought. Him, well, when are you gonna... Me, shut up. I honestly didn't even mean to say that. I meant to repeat, I'm almost done. Please don't interrupt my train of thought a 3rd time, but instead shut up came flying out when I opened my mouth. I was surprised that I said it and I felt bad, and then I felt embarrassed remembering his mum was on the phone with him. I feel like I'm the a-hole for obvious reasons, but I also feel like I was at an extremely high stress level doing the assignment. He explained beforehand that I needed to focus on it, and then during the entire hour kept calmly asking him to not interrupt me. So I partly feel that he's the a-hole, and my response was somewhat justified. He did in fact shut up after that lull. Oh, OP, you're not the a-hole at all. You repeatedly told him again and again and again, and you were being polite too. And what does he do? Disrespects everything that you say. Nah, you're not the a-hole. Okay, the consensus on here is definitely not the a-hole. The top comment says not the a-hole. You repeatedly told him that you did not want to be interrupted, and you told him why. He did not respect your need for privacy. And at a crucial moment, he not only interrupts again, he keeps on going after you repeatedly ask him to not bother you. I think shut up was entirely reasonable given the circumstances. He wasn't listening to you when you asked nicely, so you needed to very firmly tell him to go away. The core problem here is his constant disrespect of your need for privacy and to not be interrupted. He owes you an apology at minimum. The comment below that says not the a-hole. He's so completely disrespectful to the point that I question if that behavior is sabotage. The number of interruptions and complete disregard for your pleas for peace and quiet, and how often you had to reiterate why makes me wonder if he resents your successes or future success. Whether it's that or he's just incredibly rude, it's insane. I hope you can get through school and this not affect your grades and ability to learn. Yeah, it could be that too. Like deep down he's got some sort of issue with it and he wants to kind of sabotage it. Even if it's not that, he's still in the wrong. Yeah, like this comment says not the a-hole. This reminds me of when somebody just pokes and pokes at you until you snap, and then they can use that snap against you. Yeah, that's such a good point. It 100% is that. Like, oh, I'm gonna disrespect you over and over and over and over until you snap. It doesn't say how he reacted afterwards. It said that he did shut up. So I don't know if he did try to say that OP was in the wrong after this, but yeah, it is so similar to that. Like, what do you expect if you keep on pestering? Wow, the next one is another Am I the a-hole post. I do have stuff that isn't am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for being disappointed to eat sandwich meat for Thanksgiving? Am I the a-hole for being disappointed that I bought all of this stuff to make sides and casseroles for Thanksgiving with just my boyfriend and I? I sent him to the store yesterday to get a ham or turkey or some form of meat to smoke, which is basically his only job because he likes to smoke stuff, and I handle almost all of the rest. So all he ended up getting for our main portion of Thanksgiving, the meat is the main, was sandwich meat. Sandwich meat, ham and turkey from Publix. Not to mention that he never told me that's what he got instead of a ham or whatever. So now this morning he tells me that's what our meat is, now that everything's shut today, so now that's what we're gonna have. And don't get me wrong, I am thankful to have food on the table, period, and I am grateful to be able to afford it, but like it's Thanksgiving tradition for us. He asked if I was mad and I said no, I'm just disappointed. Then he starts an entire argument over it and starts screaming at me when he's the one that got sandwich meat for Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm almost in tears because he kept yelling at me that I made him feel like he ruined the whole Thanksgiving day, and that's not what I said to him at all, and I feel like he's projecting that anger onto me because he feels like he ruined the whole day. I still have casseroles and sides to eat, so it's not the end of the world, but who's in the wrong here? Not you, OP. OP, I'm sorry that you feel like you might even be in the wrong, but you've done literally nothing here. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. I've been married 25 years, and never once in that time has my husband screamed at me. Is this really the person that you want to be with? The turkey doesn't matter. His reaction to a disagreement is a big problem. Yeah, and even if he is projecting his anger onto you, OP, that doesn't mean that he gets to scream at you because of this. This comment says, not the a-hole. I'm almost in tears because he kept yelling at me that I made him feel like he ruined the whole Thanksgiving day, and that's not what I said to him at all. I mean, you should. Yeah, he did ruin it. The top comment says, not the a-hole. This is amazingly weaponized incompetence. The simple fact of the matter is that he did ruin Thanksgiving. Did he expect that some other meat would magically appear when he bought sandwich meat? Has he never had Thanksgiving before? Did he not know what was expected? Based on your post, I find that impossible to believe. So, grown man wants Thanksgiving dinner, gets told to get the meat for it, and gets sandwich meat. That is the definition of disappointing. He's wrong for pulling this stunt, and he's incredibly wrong for getting angry at getting called out for it. He gets a sandwich for dinner. No sides, no casseroles. He gets a dry sandwich and no football. Yeah, the comment below that, this, not the a-hole. The man has the audacity to start yelling and ruining Thanksgiving even further. Yeah, the video today is an episode full of red flags. They're everywhere you look. And also, you haven't been unreasonable even a little bit here, OP. You've actually done nothing. Like nothing that would make you the a-hole. I can't believe he got angry at you and took that out on you. And not just a little bit annoyed, screaming at you. Like, okay, so you're ruining Thanksgiving even more? Okay, dude. Okay, the next one says, today I messed up by trying to surprise my wife. So this happened last night and I'm still recovering from it. I wanted to surprise my wife with a romantic dinner. Is it bad that I already feel like I know where this is going? It's gonna be a catastrophe in the kitchen, isn't it? She works a lot and deserves a nice evening, so I thought, how hard can it be to cook something amazing? I looked up a recipe, got all the ingredients, and I thought I was basically Gordon Ramsay. I decided to cook turkey drumsticks, but I went a bit overboard with seasoning because, you know, flavor. Well, halfway through cooking, I noticed the kitchen was filling up with smoke. Turns out I had the oven on way too high. The turkey was, let's just say, extra crispy on the outside, but that wasn't even the worst part. While trying to fix the turkey, I forgot about the side dishes. The potatoes turned into rocks, and the mushrooms, I didn't even recognize them anymore. They were black and shriveled like something out of a horror movie. My wife came home early and found me panicking in the kitchen, surrounded by burnt food. I was sweating, smoke alarm was blaring, and I think I had actual tears in my eyes. She just stared at me for a second and then burst out laughing. I think she took pity on me because we ended up ordering pizza and had a really good laugh about it. So yeah, instead of a romantic surprise, I was able to burn half the kitchen and probably traumatize my wife with my cooking. I guess I'll stick to pizza from now on. Oh, that's so cute. You two sound like an adorable couple, OP. She walks in and stares at you for a second and then bursts out laughing. This comment says, don't stick to pizza. You can learn this stuff, just don't try to do it all at once. Roasting a chicken is easy. Mashed potatoes are easy. Salads are easy. Pick one and do it once a week until you don't need the recipe anymore. The hardest part of cooking a meal isn't any one recipe, it's getting everything out at the same time. That's where you struggled here, and that's normal. Take that off the table for the time being and just do the basics. Yeah, I feel like you were being sarcastic, OP, but yeah, definitely don't give up on cooking. You can do it, even if this time it was a catastrophe. One day it won't be a catastrophe. But yeah, you two created a memory together, OP. I'm assuming and I'm hoping that you cleaned everything up. Really hoping that you didn't let your wife clean all of that up. But yeah, definitely don't give up on cooking. The next one says, am I the a-hole for asking my pregnant colleague if she's having a boy or a girl? Today at our weekly team meeting, one of my colleagues announced that she's pregnant and is going to be on maternity leave in April. Everybody reacted with congratulations and excitement for her, and I did did too. We all told her that we're very happy for her and her family and we wish her all the best. A few minutes after, I was in the elevator with her and 3 of her other team members, so 5 of us out of 11. On our way back to our desk, just for the sake of conversation, I asked her if she's having a boy or a girl. Her face kind of fell and she grimly and shortly said, boy. I thought it was strange that she reacted like this, but I let it go. Then after I was back at my desk, she came to me and said that my question was inappropriate. No, it wasn't. That she was planning on announcing the gender herself, but I forced her to say it like that in an elevator. So now half of our team knows it and it killed the magic. I was really confused and I apologized profusely. She lectured me on how I shouldn't be asking personal questions and walked away. Oh God, that's a perfectly reasonable question. I honestly couldn't have thought that this was in any way a personal question. Is it too personal? I'm a 24-year-old dude and I don't know anything about pregnant women or babies or social customs, I guess. I was only trying to be friendly. Am I the a-hole? No, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP. Okay, the consensus here is also not the a-hole. Yeah, like this one says, that's a perfectly appropriate question and she needs to get over herself. It's not like you ruined a family surprise. She could have answered way more gracefully, along the lines of we're actually keeping it a secret for everybody, but I'm excited to tell you at the reveal, she made it awkward all by herself, not the a-hole. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with OP asking. Yeah, and they could have said, oh, I can't tell you right now. OP didn't ruin anything. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Gender announcements and reveals are only special to the person announcing it. And I feel they've gotten so out of hand. Quite frankly, she could have just said, I'll wait to announce that myself to everybody if you don't mind. But she decided to be petty AF about it. And her being pregnant and hormones is not an excuse to deflect bad behavior onto you, somebody who was being kind asking questions. Don't bother getting her a gift. Yeah, could not agree more. The only rude person here and the only person who made it bad is her, not OP. Yeah, this comment too, not the a-hole. She could have just said that she didn't know yet. Or, oh, we're not telling people yet, we're saving it for the reveal party. She chose to answer the question and then got huffy about you asking instead of being mad at herself. It was a normal question and you had the right to ask it. She did not have to answer. Yeah, this one too, not the a-hole. We're keeping it private until the baby is born was an option, but she chose to make it weird instead. This one says, not the a-hole. That's like the second or third question most people are going to ask after somebody says they're pregnant. Sounds like your coworker has a bit of a main character syndrome. Yeah, that's so ridiculous. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Okay, next one says, am I the a-hole for telling my cousin that she can't invite her friends over for Thanksgiving? I have a medium-sized family nearby. A few different aunts and uncles and cousins. Most years in the past, one of my older cousins hosted Thanksgiving. She's kind of centrally located. This year she's having a major bathroom remodel and her place isn't really an option. She normally is very welcoming to family and her co-workers and her friends. When I've asked if I can invite random friends over, she said that she didn't feel comfortable with people over that weren't part of her life, and I didn't push back. This year I'm hosting at my mum's. My mum is okay with me taking over this year. My cousin called me and asked what time she should be over and said a few of her friends and co-workers wanted to know what to bring. I told her sorry, but they weren't in the guest list. She seemed annoyed and asked me why not. I told her that when she hosts, she's very unwelcoming to people that I would have liked to invite. She argued that it's different because I know them now through her. I just said, look, those are your friends. I don't make plans to see them. I only see them at your place. She did say that I was being an a-hole, but it sounded more like the B word. Am I the a-hole? Once again, no. No, definitely not. That's really entitled. And also, it's so unbelievable to not accept the no and to call OP an a-hole. Like in a situation like that, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm going to bring some friends over. And the person hosting Thanksgiving says no. So then you say, okay, no worries. But no, they call OP an a-hole. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. It's simple. When she's hosting, she controls the invite list. When you're hosting, you control the invite list. Guests do not get to unilaterally invite other guests. She's acting extremely entitled. Yeah, and also this one, not the a-hole. That's a bold thing to assume she can invite her co-workers and friends to somebody's house, let alone their Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, but she feels like you're in the wrong. That is so annoying. Yeah, that is so entitled. Oh yeah, I'm bringing my co-workers and friends to your event at your mum's house. Like she wasn't even asking. She was telling OP that that's what she was gonna do. Like, sorry, no, you don't just get to decide this without even asking. Like that's entitled in itself, but then to call you an a-hole on top of that, that's so bad, and that's enough for today. I hope you had a wonderful time today, everybody, and please let me know down below if you did, and I hope you're okay after what we've read today, I've got a cute wholesome meme to show you. When you eat a 4-course meal and then somebody asks you if you'd like some cake. Yes. Absolutely. I would absolutely love some cake. There is always room for cake. That is such a cute cat too. Nez lays like this all the time and it looks so funny. Look at my beautiful fluffy belly. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. Definitely make sure you subscribe if you want to. And the comment of the day goes to Tharlan or Orcbreaker. I'm assuming I said that right. Suck It Up is just an alternative version of Keep the Peace. I love how this Keep the Peace stuff has sort of become like a meme. Like people say it in every episode and it's so infuriating. Like, oh yeah, keep the peace. Let everybody walk all over you. No, okay. And yeah, Suck It Up is just an alternative version of Keep the Peace. That's so true. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!